What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than usual. We're going to be doing a product review. We have done these in the past, and of course I want to keep doing them because I want to keep bringing products to you guys that are automotive related, but also kind of help in the grand scheme of the automotive world. So today we're going to be talking about a dash cam. We've talked about one dash cam, I think, in the past, and this is actually a new version of a similar dash cam that same company offered from Vantrue. Now, this is the dash cam we're going to be talking about today. There's a couple things that make this one specifically better and great in its own right. Let's talk about the details. After we unbox this particular product and talk about the details, we're actually going to put it in Amber's car. So we're going to get to see this thing in real world usage during the day and at night, so you can tell if something like this is going to be useful for you. Now, one of the things I could tell, this thing's form factor is perfect. So if you're not a guy who likes a bunch of real big things hanging off the windshield and stuff, this is going to be the one you're going to want to stick around and see the review on. This is the Vantrue E1 Pro, and they're touting it as being the smallest 4K dash cam on the market. Now, by itself, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. You can have tiny dash cams that aren't that good, but the internals are where this thing really starts to shine. The biggest claim to fame here is the sensor that it uses. This is the Sony Starvis 2, which is basically one of the highest resolution sensors out there, and of course it's going to be one of the ones that do the best at night as well. A dash cam is really only built for one thing, and it's really to read license plates. For those of you who don't understand the technical side of this, is a higher resolution sensor with more clarity. So it's going to give you what you need as far as being able to read street signs, license plates, see things more clearly in the dark, things like that. It also has HDR, which of course is great for real bright sunny days as well as super dark nights. It's going to make things much more visible. This unit also comes with a CPL filter, or basically a circular polarizing filter, to help reduce glare, specifically get those reflections off of the inside of your windshield. So you're seeing everything outside of the car and nothing reflected inside. Great thing to have. Trust me, been there, done that. I've seen it 100 times where the majority of what you'll see in the footage is actually the reflection of the windshield back into the camera. So having that standard, fantastic. This can connect via Bluetooth to your cell phone. It does have a parking mode, meaning that if the car is disrupted while sitting still, it will turn on and start recording. It even has optional LTE connectivity. So basically, this thing checks all of the boxes. It's got pretty much everything you need in this tiny little form factor. Let's go ahead and open it now for real. Scan one of these QR codes to download the app for this. We're definitely going to need that. User manual, probably will need that as well. Some more documentation, and of course the unit itself. Look how small that is. That's incredible. I love that. This is going to be really easy to install, really easy to swap through vehicles. I'm really curious to see what this thing looks like during the day and at night, because like I said, the sensor in this is going to be knocking it out of the park. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and installed. So here's everything we got. The dash cam itself, which like I said is very small unit. The mount, and it comes with additional double-sided tape in case you mess up or want to move it to a different car, like I said. You got your polarizer filter here, USB cable for charging, your power cord here for running power from your cigarette lighter or power plug in your car, and even these little things here that will stick onto parts of your dash to help you run the power line so it looks at least tight. Now these here are for sticking to your windshield before you stick the double-sided tape mount to it, so you can easily remove it, but that's what you get. That's it. And like I said, again, this unit is unbelievably tiny. Now in this case, we are going to be using a 128 gigabyte memory card for the dash cam, but this particular dash cam from Vantrue can actually take up to a 1 terabyte SD card. So if you're looking to record pretty much anything, grab the 1 terabyte, load this thing up, and just let it ride. Since the screen is so tiny, it's actually not a touch screen, but it gives you a very clear indication here how to use the buttons on the bottom to navigate through the menus. So the more important ones you're going to need to know are right here, of course. You got your record option, mic on and off, and then of course the emergency lock and snapshot. So anytime you want to take a specific snapshot of something that happened so you don't have to dig through a bunch of footage, that's what you would want to do. So once we get some charge into this device, we can actually start setting it up. And of course all of the buttons on the bottom are labeled with a little arrow down or a select button basically. So we'll push this over to where it says English, mile per hour or kilometer, Wi-Fi modes, 5 gigahertz or 2.4, which is pretty cool. A lot of times they don't offer 5. And then it's going to go ahead and format the SD card we just put in, which was the 128. Like I said, it can take up to a 1 terabyte. From there, we're pretty much ready to go. So now we'll go ahead and get this thing in the car. So here we are in the Cadillac Lyric. This is the same car we installed the previous Vantrue dash cam in, and you can see we actually had to just pull it down here. This was the one we did the review on. I'll link it in the top of this video. Right there is the mount for it. So very similar mount actually with the new one, but obviously smaller because of the smaller form factor here. I plugged this in the house and got it all set up, so we're ready to go with the special plate reader option. Is going to allow us to see those plates a lot clearer at night. So we'll go ahead and get this stuck up here and put the cigarette lighter power plug in, and then we're good to go. All right, so everything's installed. You can see right there it is now recording. We just have this plugged into a cigarette power port for now, but in reality you could have probably put this a little closer here and run it up over the headliner, which we'll do later on after we test this thing out. But for now, we're going to go for a drive and see what the footage looks like and go from there. So the screen actually looks like it stays on in the back for a little while. I can actually see what this is recording, but we're coming up behind what looks like a Prius now. And with that license plate reader function on there, should make it a little easier to read that. Plus, we're going to go for the drive right now and see how it works, but we're also going to do it again later at night to see how it picks it all up at night as well. So again, this is recording at 4K, 30 frames per second. Really should be more than enough resolution to make out details and things. And with how small the unit is itself, it really would be, it's very unobtrusive on the windows. It's not really something that's going to be in your way very often, especially if you mount it on the right side of your rear view mirror. It would be out of the driver's vision almost completely. So we're coming up behind a car, Chevy in front of us. You should be able to easily see that license plate. I can obviously easily make it out in person here, but on the screen it is doing the special mode where the plate reader functions on. It should kind of accentuate those letters a little bit more. Obviously, my voice right now is just completely through the dash cam, so all the video and audio you're hearing is dash cam, not my camera or anything else. I do see on the back it shows the speed of the vehicle you're in as well, so obviously the GPS function's working. And I'm looking at the speed on the screen as well as the speed on the dash, and they're pretty much dead on accurate. So here we are parked behind this minivan. This is my $4,000 camera versus the dash cam on that license plate. Also, taking another look at this, you can actually plug the power cord into the base right here. So if I took this and mounted it real tight up against here, would easily be able to flip that USB-C the other way and run it right through the headliner. This thing would be one of the easier dash cams to conceal because of how small it is. So not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but if you look, you can see the reflection of my hand in the window. And then if I rotate the lens just a little bit, now that reflection's gone. So the polarizer is definitely working, and all you gotta do is just rotate it to the point where it's completely blocking any reflections from your dashboard, and then all you're seeing is just what you want to see, which is out the window, not the reflections on the window.
Many hours later.
All right, so here is some night footage. It's about 9:20 at night, and we're just kind of driving through not a super well lit plaza, but just to give you an idea of what this camera looks like at night. I'm looking at the back of the camera. It looks significantly lighter on the camera than it really is in person. So it definitely has a sensor on it that's letting in a lot of light to make the image as bright as possible. And if it's anything like the last Vantrue dash cam I was reviewing, that one did pretty well as well at night, but this one's supposedly an even better sensor, and based on what I can see on the back of the screen here, it looks like it is letting in more light. So should be able to again easily pick up on street signs and license plates because of that plate mode that we're in as well. So this truck in front of us doesn't
Look like it even has a license plate, so that's not a real good test. Just driving along with no plate. Is there a plate on there? No. Oh yeah, wow. Man, is that dark. I can't even see that in person, so I doubt that camera's going to pick it up. Yeah, I'll try to pause it here and see if we can see that license plate, because in person I can't even see it. So if this camera's picking it up, that's a pretty good testament to how well it's doing. So here's a car in the parking lot. Just to show you how easily the license plates can be read. But yeah, that's going to be the night vision on this particular camera. Like I said, it looks really good on the back of the screen, so I'm kind of anxious to get this into a video editor and see what it looks like. But based on what I'm seeing here, it looks pretty good. So far, based on the build quality, the size, the form factor, the actual sensor that this is using, everything looks really good. I think this is going to be a thumbs up. After I check some footage, assuming everything turns out on the computer as well as it does, well as it looks on the back of this, this is definitely a go-to camera, dash cam, because this thing's only, I think, $150, so it's really on the cheaper end of it too, with one of the best sensors you can get for dash cams, and the form factor makes it really, really easy to stick on a windshield and hide all the wires, so it's super unobtrusive on your windshield, which is a win by itself, especially if you already have like a radar detector hanging around and everything. This seems like a win.
Alright guys, and it is the next day. So we did some testing with the dash cam yesterday and found it to be extremely well put together. The thing is only a little bit bigger than my key fob for the car, so a very small, compact unit with all the awesome features in it. GPS, and of course that plate picks option, which of course gives even more contrast and sharpness to the plates at night and during the day, so you can really see the things that matter the most. The reason you want a dash cam is to see these little things, and to have that plate picks option really just knocks it out of the park. Definitely liking the unit so far though, guys, so if you liked what you saw here, be sure to check them out. Vantrue is celebrating 10 years on the road, 10 years of keeping people safe. Check out the link in the description down below if you want to grab one of these units for yourself. Like I said, the size of the unit, the versatility, the options, the specs, everything is top notch with this, and it's going to be really easy to add it to your car on the windshield where it's not going to be super obtrusive. So like I said, if you tucked it up on the passenger side of the rear view mirror, you can kind of run the wire down along. Not only is it well hidden, it's out of your way, and it's still doing its job. So definitely check it out if you liked it, guys. Thumbs up if you liked what you saw here, subscribe if you haven't yet, and as always, guys, stay obsessed.